Welcome back, friends. I forgot my phone today, but that's all right because I'm on something called a Zoom call with my good friend from across the Atlantic, Mr. Jamie Brewster. Jamie, how we doing today?
Hi Alex, it's great to hear from you, and you're back from your European travels, and I understand you'll be making a video about that before long. So look forward to that very much.
Yeah, that video will actually be up before this one is too, so everyone will have seen those. And if you haven't, check out the posts on my channel. I did a post all about Holland, and I even quoted a few passages from the promotional stuff they did for Sail on Sailor. So hopefully people have had a chance to see that. But yeah, the video's on its way. It's actually probably out by the time you're watching this.
Wow, wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic, Alex. So we're still working through the legacy and albums of Brian, aren't we? And
Yep.
I just before we start, I've heard there are things on the. I know you one of your last videos. There's supposed to be a an unplugged live compilation.
So David Loegman of the Surf City All Stars. I just attended a concert they did in New York State. He has been working on an unplugged Beach Boys project with the involvement of all the Beach Boys except for Dennis. There's like archival stuff of Carl, but that's due to come out in 2026. And he asked me to push that out, get some fan support, fan traction. So don't know the title yet. Don't know too many details. I'll actually be talking to David here pretty soon in a follow-up video from not this concert, but the concert where he played with Al Jardine and David Marks. That'll be coming out very soon. He should have a little more info for us. But yeah, another thing we can add to the list of Beach Boys or Beach Boys related items to look forward to.
Incredible. Well, that I was blown away to hear about that, and what a nice guy too. Tremendous guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. I have a great photo with him backstage at the show, and some of the other Surf City All-Stars got a chance to meet them. Did not get a chance to re-meet David or Al, sadly, but meeting new people that I'd never met before, that was even better. Got a chance
I
to
think
see
you
some new
did great
folks.
there, really good. I was very, very impressed with him, and all his experience and time actually with the band. He seemed to have almost been there since the word dot, for years.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and I know his involvement's been kind of off and on, as with many of their backing musicians are working with different individuals. But yeah, I mean, he's been a huge booster for the Beach Boys for decades now, and very involved in live performances and helping to keep their legacy going, things like that. So,
For sure, and that's great. And I very much look forward to seeing Mike and Bruce, particularly. Yanni met Bruce many years ago. I think, well, actually, about 2012. I think on the 50th anniversary, Yanni got a nice photo with Bruce. I may be able to send you that sometime. That was cool. She had a great chat with him, and I don't know whether I'll be able to meet any of them, but you never know. I'll
yeah.
I'll, I'll make myself irritating. I just hang around so much they get really
Yep.
fed up.
I will say, if you're willing to beg, you can meet almost anybody. You just have to be willing to beg for it. But Bruce is my favorite of the Beach Boys to talk to. I actually sang with him a couple times. We
Oh,
sang She Believes in Love Again together from Beach Boys 85. And
wow.
then the Club Kokomo cocktail party, we sang Sumahama from the LA Light
Yeah, but
album.
have you got any tapes of that? I suppose it was just
It was just off the cuff,
off
sadly,
the
no
cuff, but
tapes.
what a
But
privilege.
and not the complete song, but we did a verse
No.
and chorus of each,
Well, isn't
that
that
kind of thing.
lovely? Well,
But
that is something you can be very proud of, I think.
he was such a great guy. I gotta say, like I said, Bruce is probably my favorite of all them that I've interacted with and everything. So
I think Yanni would say the same, actually. In fact, so much so, I said when we're going to see them, she said, "Who would you like me to bring back?" She said, "Bruce." I said, "Okay, I'll bring him back." And we've got a little studio here we're hoping to start using. I said, "I'll lock him in the studio and make him sing with us."
he
Yeah.
might do it anyway. You never know.
Probably. I don't know. He might, yeah, be in the garden with the cats and everything. So but
Oh
yeah,
no, that's great.
yeah. And I heard on the grapevine there's things. I know there'll be things coming out, but I think a lot of the Andy Paley things will be coming out. Uh,
Hopefully, we're due for a decent collection of everything.
yeah, that would be marvelous, wouldn't it? And also some of the recordings of the Royal Festival Hall with the Smile. I think there's another. There's some unreleased or that they're filmed, but not they haven't been released. There's the
Right.
the filming of the Smile show, There's going to be more of that coming out, I think, as well.
Okay. Well, that's
So
yeah. And of course, we have the box set, supposedly 15 big ones, and Love You and Adult Child and things that fall into that category. That's supposed to be out this autumn at some point
have
or
you
this
heard more
winter.
about that?
I haven't really heard anything much other than what Al
Um,
Jardines kind of teased and a couple of things
he's a
online and like
tease.
the
He's a
forums.
tease, isn't he? He is a tease.
Well, he said it would also include the MIU album. He had to redact that. So I guess
Well,
so.
okay.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
he's not sure either, to be honest.
No,
I don't
maybe
know.
not. Maybe not. But that's you know, in a way, I mean, obviously we've lost our hero, but maybe some of the things that might not have come out so quickly or will be out, and you know, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a
Mhm.
great thing.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
and I was looking through the list of albums, and I was playing a little bit of where we'd got to, and I know we talked a little bit. We talked about Christmas, didn't we? Christmas album
Yep.
was talked about.
Yep.
Lucky Old Son. It was really coming on to Reimagines Gershwin and Disney. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Talk to me about them.
This is probably Gershwin is for those who are just listening. Probably my least listened to of all Brian's work. I think
Yeah.
there's a couple things here I'm not a big fan of, like the way he does Our Love Is Here to no. It's either Our Love Is Here to Stay or They Can't Take That Away from Me. But there's one he does like a call and response jam kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't suit the song really,
Doesn't
but
suit.
he's got some good ones. I like his version of I Got Rhythm, which sounds almost
Mm,
like something he would have arranged for the Beach Boys. And he
absolutely.
definitely picked some Gershwin classics. I love Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies, so I recognized a lot of these. So it's nice to hear them kind of updated 70 years later, but not all the updates work for me. I don't know. How do you feel about Gershwin?
I prefer the Gershwin album to the Disney album. The Disney album for me, well, yeah, out of the two, I prefer Gershwin. I think there's a lot of nice arrangements in there, some orchestration, and the two new songs or the two fragments of new songs that Brian then put together and put out as completed songs. I think he made a great job of with Scott Bennett, and yeah, I like it. As you say, there's a couple of songs that are a bit not they're just not for me, but I think
Right.
it's a very competent work.
No, I'm like as with all Brian's albums, there's always something to enjoy, and but this
Yeah,
is one that just it doesn't resonate with me like his other work does.
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
understand.
I hate to say it's my least favorite, but it's because that's not really the case. But it is probably my
Okay.
least listened to of them. But yeah, let's talk Disney real quick because of course Brian was a big fan of Disney songs like "When You Wish Upon a Star," inspired "Surfer Girl," those sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And this one, to me, it doesn't feel like a cash grab. The Beach Boys Stars and Stripes always felt to me like they're trying to get country music fans to become Beach Boys fans. To me, it always
Yeah,
felt very processed in that way.
definitely.
Like
I
there's not a
definitely.
lot of heart and soul
I
in
never
here,
play
but
that. I never play it.
I think I've listened to it in since it came out maybe 7 or 8 times at the
Yeah,
most, and
that's probably
since
5 times more than I have.
yeah, it's not my thing. This doesn't quite feel like that. You can tell Brian's trying to do something with these songs. He's not just,
Yeah,
putting a bunch of Disney songs out there. Some of it's a little weird, like the hi ho, yo ho medley
yeah,
thing. That's a
no,
little out
no,
there for me. But I do like when he's having fun. I think the upbeat songs actually work better. Like I just can't wait to be the king. That kind of
yeah,
stuff. You could tell he's having a good time.
for sure.
So, and
Yeah,
hey,
listen,
Brian, also, go ahead, Jamie.
sorry,
Sorry.
no, no, Alex, carry on, my friend.
I say, and we figure Brian also did music for a SpongeBob movie and for a Curious George movie, so he was definitely a child at heart there, and that's
I
okay.
think so. Yeah, and in a way, and on both albums, I think the band perform really well. I mean, they play and sing really well. I know Brian sings multiple parts in both, but the guys are still doing really good. And yeah, but again, that's one I don't. I don't play very much. And if I was looking at my top out of Brian's, say, 20 albums that he's done, they would be sort of lower down, both of them, really, I think.
Yeah, I got you. Now, I don't blame it. This is one maybe if you're a huge Gershwin fan or a huge Disney music fan, like these
Yeah.
would be your number ones, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But I don't think either of us really fit into that
Not
category.
not so much, not so much. And I'm always looking for, as I said to you before, the new Brian nuggets, the new
Right.
songs, a little bit of genius coming out. That's why I like Imagination so much and No Peer Pressure. there's so many lovely songs within those albums, and
Absolutely.
he was on fire making them. He really was. And so those are the two albums we didn't do. Are there others as well?
Little bit more. So let's talk
Oh,
Long
okay.
Promised Road, the
Yeah,
soundtrack and the film.
yeah,
I really like the soundtrack. Since I don't
definitely.
have I only have a digital download of it, so
Same as me.
uh,
Yeah,
I've just used the Endless Summer Quarterly magazine for it. But
yeah,
really great soundtrack. His cover of
beautiful.
Honeycomb, I like. He
Yeah,
reimagined several Beach Boys songs. Blondie Chaplin does Long Promised Road, like he did in the
yeah,
live set. And there's some fun new ones on there too. Is it Rock and
absolutely.
Roll's Here to Stay? I think it's called, or something like that.
Yeah,
Forget the
yeah.
exact title. I know it's
I
in here
think there
somewhere.
was well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that new song, yeah, Love is Here to Stay. I think it probably is, isn't it? It's a great.
Oh, I know they list all the songs in here, but naturally, now that
Yeah,
I'm looking for it, I can't find
yeah.
it.
You just
So,
take your time. They'll have to wait. Everyone will have to wait.
yeah, but and then the film was interesting too on account of I think it's really maybe outside of like the stuff for the Disney documentary, really the
Mm,
last time they got kind of personal with Brian and were interviewing
yeah,
him and stuff like that. Certainly one of
absolutely.
the last. So,
That
and
was very eye-opening. He was very, very honest with things. And that was the interview, one of the interviews in the car where he was saying he hadn't heard that Jack Riley had died, wasn't that? And
yep,
he was so upset.
and he
And
was his face
yeah,
just froze. Yeah,
he froze and almost like a tear, and he kept wiping his eyes. And they got very close working together, he and Jack, and they came up with some great songs. They really did. Yeah,
yep. And Jack
absolutely.
Riley gets plenty of shout outs on Sail on Sailor. This is the little Sail on Sailor, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah, Jack Riley. Some people don't like to talk about him. I know he was kind of a quirky person, and I guess
Hmm.
his alleged sexuality was one of the reasons why the Beach Boys eventually decided to let him go and things like
Oh,
that.
okay.
And
I wasn't sure about that. Okay.
yeah, that's
Right.
been rumored. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed that he wanted to live in the Netherlands and manage them from overseas and stuff
Yeah.
that
It was,
eventually the Beach Boys were just kind of like, yeah, maybe we need someone different. But he did a lot for the group, I gotta
he
say.
did. Oh, he
Co-writing
did.
credits at Carnegie
Abs-
Hall, he introduces the band and everything.
He
And
does. Yeah, for sure. And he sings on a couple of tracks live as well. I think he sings Day in the Life of a Tree
yeah,
live.
on the album, yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
he did it in
No, and,
live
and a
performances or
live one too.
oh, okay. I wasn't sure about that because the live one
Yeah. Yeah.
sadly isn't on sale on Sailor, so
Yeah. There is a clip on YouTube of him singing Day in the Life of a Tree. A lot of people talking in the background actually, but
well,
yeah, he'd got. I think he fell out big time with Bruce. I think, but he learned a lot from Brian and his solo album. Have you heard his solo album?
what's it called? I
Um,
don't think I have.
um, I've got it up here somewhere. I did have. Um, I'll come back to you on that one. Uh, Sue, what was the Jack Riley's solo album called? I'll send it to you. But
Okay, yeah.
but there's a cracking track on there. It's very Brian-esque. I'll send it you.
Okay, yeah, please do, because I'm curious to hear it because,
Yeah,
Jack Riley kind of a polarizing figure, a very unique figure, and I think very important to the Beach Boys legacy
absolutely.
as
And with
well.
Fairy Tale and all the things,
Mhm.
he was involved quite a lot, and he encouraged Brian a lot, I think, actually. And that's where, Brian blossomed. We had Van Dyke Parks, Jack Riley, Tony Asher. A lot of these guys really brought the best out in Brian, I think.
Absolutely. It was always
Yeah.
good for him to have
Yeah,
someone to bounce off with too, outside
yeah.
of his family and immediate friend
I
circle, I
think
think.
so. Yeah, and I think with the band, Brian would never have done half the things if the band hadn't turned up, Darian and co. If
Yeah,
they'd never
there you
turned
go.
up, he would have just, I don't know what would have happened, but they all loved him so much because he said a number of times that he felt, he was going through the motions, but these guys, they all loved him.
Yeah, they did and backed him up and helped him out and we're a great
Yeah.
team.
They
So,
really were. They're incredible. And oh, I think we've got it. The administration department has just sent me an email. The email has come in. Here it is. It's a piece of paper.
oh, there we
Now,
go. My favorite
yeah,
type of email.
yeah, we still do things by carrier pigeon. Western Justice is
Okay,
Jack
yeah.
Riley's album. No. Well, I was on a radio show a few weeks ago with Chris Evans, and he said that Jamie Bruce, he says, knows a lot about the Beach Boys, but he said I got him on one thing, Jack Riley's solo album, and he did because I couldn't remember it. I'd heard the
Oh,
track, the particular track he played on the show that night, and which I think is just called America, actually, but whatever. It's a cracking song. But yeah, Western Justice, I think it was one of the most expensive albums ever made in Holland.
huh.
Jack Riley made it with another Dutchman. I forget his name. He was very talented, and they got orchestras galore playing on it. Lots of vocalists, a little choir, I think, and it cost a fortune to make.
Oh.
And
Hmm.
you can still get it. You can, if you search for it, you'll find it on Discogs or things like that. I got a brand new CD, a sealed one, and so I haven't played it yet because there's a booklet inside as well.
Yeah.
So that very Brian influenced album, actually.
Okay, I'll have to look for that because I wasn't familiar with that. So that's really cool to know
Yeah,
about.
it's dead cool. And
So,
so he said on the channel that Jamie Brewster, he thinks he knows a lot, but he doesn't. He didn't know. Oh,
so well, okay, there's one thing you don't know. Other than
yeah,
that,
more than that. Flipping heck. But yeah, so I'll send you that through. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
please do. I'm curious about that. So we have one more Brian album to talk about, and we'll have talked about all of them. And some more than others, of
I
course.
love
But
that. I love
the
the anthology.
the
Yeah,
only Brian sort of compilation that we have.
yeah.
So Jamie, talk to me. Playback.
I love it. I love it because you've got some new mixes on there.
Yep.
You've got the heroes and villains from Smile,
Yep.
Love and Mercy. You've got tracks that the live tracks that didn't that came out live on
The Roxy one.
Roxy,
Yep.
and I think there was a new Run James Run. I think is on there. I
Yep. That's
think
actually the finale of it
the
because
finale.
that
I'm not
was
sure whether that was meant to be for another album or anything. I never knew about that one. Do you know
it was
anything?
worked on in the mid 2010s. I don't know if it was for No Peer Pressure and they just didn't use it, or if
Maybe.
it was. I don't know. It doesn't really fit with No Peer Pressure, I don't think.
No,
So
it's not
maybe
it's not an outstanding track, in fairness, I don't think.
it's almost like more like a car song. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like it has that Little Deuce Coupe vibe. And I was like, yeah, that
sure.
probably wouldn't have worked on No Peer Pressure. But I do like it though. I'm glad it's here because
Yeah,
we're always looking for that new stuff.
absolutely.
Surprisingly, a few albums are skipped. We get everything, most everything gets at least one song. They stayed away from a lot of the very Beach Boys focused ones, like I Just Wasn't Made for These Times. You know, Smile gets, of course, Heroes and Villains and Surfs Up.
Yeah.
But like they didn't use any of his live Pet Sound stuff. But
Mm.
interestingly, they skip a couple other albums too, and most notably, one that we did talk about, an album that's surprisingly skipped was
Yeah.
Orange Crate Art. There's nothing.
No, not a thing. Not a thing. Whether they were just looking for Brian compositions for that album, maybe. I don't know.
That
But
could be, but hmm.
Orange Crate Art it almost disappeared off the edge of the world, really.
Yeah,
Um,
it did. Hmm.
which is there's a lot of quality. But I think also you've got in that album, you've got some imagination tracks in there, and a couple from his 2004 album as well. So I think
Yep.
you've got a nice little anthology. I don't think there's anything because it came out. I don't think there's anything from No Peer Pressure. When did it come out?
Um, so this is 2017. One Kind of Love, I know is on some versions of No Peer Pressure. That was the one that they did for the Love and Mercy movie.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was on that soundtrack album, which
oh
actually
yeah,
I have that
yeah.
too.
That's true. But
And
none
then
of
it
the
was
other
also
tracks.
here. And yeah,
Mm,
none of the other ones. Run James Run, like I said, was an outtake.
yeah,
And then we get Some Sweet Day. That was an Andy Paley one, I
that was
think.
Andy Paley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes its
Yeah.
debut here, kind of randomly, but still, it's nice to have it.
I think it's a nice album. I like it. And, if somebody just wanted a sort of a bit of a sort of not best of Brian Wilson, but a nice snapshot of Brian Wilson, it's an album to have for sure. And yeah,
There's the Love and Mercy soundtrack. I have the record too. I was very impressed with this movie too. Paul Dano
oh,
as young
yeah,
Brian.
it was incredible. Yeah, what a movie. I think we watched it one Christmas time and we all were spellbound. I think it was beautifully acted. And yeah, I think they missed bits out, of course. It's a bit like, it
Oh
reminds me a
yeah.
little bit of, the Four Seasons doing the
Oh,
big
Jersey Boys.
Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
Um, in a way, there was a sort of, there were certain gaps. There were a few gaps and a few bits. Oh, they never talked about that. Why didn't they do that? You're always gonna find that, aren't
Yeah,
you?
that's the price that comes with making a film like this, I suppose. And this one,
Definitely.
I did some of the montage things are really interesting too, I always thought, but the album
Sure.
can't seem to make up its mind how many actual songs it wants and how many montages it wants, so we kind of get a
Yeah.
mixture of everything. But
Yeah.
still,
Sort of, yeah, yeah. But anyway, it's part of the whole legacy and the story, isn't it, really? But
yeah,
yeah, I think I was thinking about sort of which of the albums I'd put on the desert island with me. Maybe if you'd had to take six of Brian's um personal nicest works for you, which would you take? If you had half a dozen that you had to
all
take.
right. Just from his solo work,
Yeah.
let me think. Well, I would say That Sounds Live would be one. Of
Okay.
course, gotta have Smile for
For
two.
sure.
Uh, hmm. I always like that Lucky Old Sun.
Yeah,
That'd probably be for
definitely. I
three.
think we've got three together there. I agree with.
I'd probably take
Yeah,
No Peer Pressure
I
at
would.
four.
Yeah.
What else would I take? You know what would be interesting? Brian Wilson
Okay.
and Friends, which never gets
Okay.
talked about enough. I'm up to five. I'm up to five. Uh, hmm. I'm gonna go in left field a little bit. Instead of picking Brian Wilson
Imagination.
88, I'm gonna pick Imagination, I think. I like Brian Wilson 1988, but
I
I
do
kind of like
too.
all of these a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, that's great. And I'd go pretty well the same, I think, but I'd probably take 88 and maybe not take which one wouldn't I take that you were going to take? The Brian Wilson and Friends. Probably I'd take 88 because it
Nice.
was like, yes, Brian's new album. Yeah. I mean, I need to get that back from the UK. We're bringing loads of stuff over from the UK, so I've got all my box sets and everything will be coming over probably September time, I hope.
All right, I
So
gotcha.
some stuff so it'll probably take a great big lorry, to with all the albums and stuff.
You
But
never realize how much stuff you own until you try to move, and then it's like, where did I
yeah.
get all this? But
Oh, yeah. I mean, so we'll see what happens. But we're here now, so UK, yeah, we're not probably going to go back. So we've got to do some changes there. But anyway, so I think yeah, Brian, it's there's still the tributes coming in. David is still doing lots on all the photography he had at the services and things, and new bits pieces from people. It doesn't seem to end. It's just
well, and
more
that's
things.
good because Brian's legacy will never end. At the
Absolutely.
Surf City All Stars show, they of course acknowledged it during the concert. They said, in memory of Brian Wilson. At the very end, they played a recording of Love and Mercy. They didn't, the band
Did they?
itself didn't do
That's
it,
lovely.
but it was a nice gesture, though,
That is a nice
nonetheless.
gesture. We don't get those guys over here. Spain's a little bit, well, we've got about 4 or 5 concerts in Spain, I think, from the Beach Boys. So
Hmm.
I think Marbella, Stitches, we're going north towards Barcelona way, and I think they're playing in Malaga, and they played somewhere north already. And yeah, pardon? Rosas. Oh, they're playing Rosas as well, which is yeah, that's another lovely place. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing them, and they'll obviously do some lovely talking about Brian, I'm sure. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
can
sure
see.
they'll,
Yeah.
yeah, they might even have a special concert film that they play
Oh,
about him. It wouldn't surprise me.
I hope so. Do you think I might be able to take some sneaky videos?
Oh, I
I'm not
bet you
sure.
you can.
Do you
I was
reckon I
gonna
might be
say.
able to?
Well, it's funny because people have been taking sneaky videos of Al's recent concerts where he's been doing like Love You and that kind of stuff, songs from
Okay.
MIU albums. So I bet you can take sneaky videos and they won't say anything.
I'm going to take some sneaky videos. Yeah, I will. And yeah, I won't post them, but I'll take some sneaky ones for sure. So yeah,
So, oh, that's all right.
yeah, looking forward to it. It's the sort of probably never see them again.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do another European tour or not with Mike and Bruce being in their 80s and everything. It's hard to say. I'm
Well, we
glad they're
might.
doing a nice big one. I only wish it coincided with my European visit, but
Yeah, it
oh,
would have been. Yeah, that would have been first. That would have been amazing, actually. And you could have stayed here, and we could have gone up there together and talked
I
Beach Boys
know.
for hours
But
and days. And
It wasn't in the cards though. So
No, maybe I'll come over to Tennessee sometime, but I'm frightened of I'm frightened of being stopped and frisked at the airport and then put in some sort of detention center.
well, I don't know their policy on the English right now, and
No, I
because
don't.
you're English by birth but living in Spain, from what I understand.
It's complicated.
Okay,
And I
so
certainly wouldn't grow a beard because then I think they'd definitely have me then.
I know that's why they don't like me. But hey, all I have in my bag are clothes, so
Yeah, for
there you
sure,
go.
for sure. Well, anyway, hopefully it's not going to be too bad for you guys, but still, anyway, that's we won't get into politics.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Music is just and yeah, we'll we'll do another one, Alex, because how are we doing on time? Are we okay or
We
are we
got about 5 minutes, so
okay? What do we want to finish off with? At my
oh,
piano. Did we talk about At My Piano? We did,
yep.
didn't we?
We hit everything Brian Wilson, some
I
more than
think we
others.
I think
Uh,
we did. I think we did. I've got a little list here, but I can't really read it because my
that's okay.
typing's terrible.
I have all my Beach Boys albums here. I brought Feel Flows up if you want to talk
Oh
Feel
yeah,
Flows as
man.
a closer.
They're just, there's so many people who haven't heard a lot of Brian Wilson's music over here. In the UK, of course, they have, but here there's a lot of I was talking to someone, Good Vibrations, whether it be Good Vibrations. So I've had to play people Good Vibrations, and they know some of the surfing things and some of that. But once sort of 63, 64 had gone, you know, Spain's a funny place for that, actually.
Mm.
But we'll see how many people at the concert.
I think that at least most of the people there, I would think, would know it. But you know what song all the Americans know, even the kids? Because I teach, so it's
Kokomo.
interesting. It's Barbara Ann.
Oh, Barbara Ann.
That's the one that, and then at that Surf City All Stars show, I was with a companion who didn't know much about the Beach Boys, but that was the one he knew, and that was
Yeah,
one he was excited to hear. And Al
yeah,
Jardine has famously said, I even saw him say this at a concert once, it was the dumbest thing the Beach Boys ever recorded. But
yeah,
yet, everybody loves Barbara Ann. So
yeah. It
I
was a
don't know.
smash.
But I was going to say that one, I'm sure people in Spain or anywhere else in the
Yeah,
world would
they'll know
probably
that for
know.
sure. Yeah,
But
in fact,
even
there were
in
two
English.
girls today, two ladies who bought our album, and I said, "Do you know the Beach Boys?" Oh yeah, and I said we were singing Barbara Ann we sang Barbara Ann at one of the little venues here, and I put it on the video, and they were going, "Oh, Barbara, Barbara," it's great. And two ladies, I suppose they're in there, I don't know what late 60s, 70s probably, and they were really into it.
All
So
right. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
one that seems helps to draw people in because I certainly was familiar with Beach Boys work before I got into Brian's solo work. It was kind of a
yeah,
jumping off thing there.
same here.
But
And
but
there's a
yeah,
whole
no.
into Barbara Ann's a great story in itself, isn't it? That Dean Torrance should never have sang on it. He should never have been. He should never have
Yeah.
sung on it. They'd have chopped his legs off if they because then he went back to the studio and Jan Barry said, "You didn't sing on that song. You didn't sing with the Beach Boys, did you?" And I think he said, "No, I don't think I did. No, no, I didn't." And he's all over it. I love
Oh
it.
well. What Liberty Records didn't know didn't hurt them. There you
Yeah,
go. It's all
exactly.
good.
I
So
love the way they were rebels, actually. They were rebels. And in a way, I think Brian was too manipulated a bit. I think he was a bit more, "Oh, I've got to do what the record company said." And the Jan and Dean just went, "No,
yep.
we're not doing it." If they tell us to do that, we'll do something different.
Yeah, yeah, hey. I mean, Jan and Dean have a really interesting discography too,
They
I
do.
think. So,
They
but
do.
sadly, not a very large one either. Their albums were
Absolutely.
all kind of compressed at the beginning of the 60s, sort of. But there's
Yeah,
some cool stuff there.
definitely. Definitely cool stuff. And Brian co-wrote quite a lot of the songs,
Hmm.
and
Including Surf City, of course.
the City, massive hit, and his dad was furious with him with that. He was furious. When Murray heard that he had written Surf City and given them, he got number one. He was absolutely, furious with Brian.
Yeah, but
And in
uh,
a way, you can understand it, but they were friends.
yeah, I mean, and it was the only time Brian wrote music for other artists either. So
I know.
I don't know.
Surf. They wanted Surfing USA, didn't they? I think Jan Berry wanted Surfing USA, and Brian said, "No, I'm going to keep that one, but I've got something else I'm working on, Surf City." So
Yeah.
yeah. That would have
So
been a number one Beach Boys song, of course.
might have been. There's an AI version of it now, which I'm not super keen on, but
Oh no, I'm worried about all this AI
yeah,
stuff, I have to say.
I
And you
hear
look at the
you.
stuff, Alex, everywhere that auto tune and
Yeah.
manipulation of voices is just like, oh Lord, you know?
Yeah. Luckily, Jamie, we're almost out of time, so you don't have to think about it anymore. And in the
Oh,
future, we'll have to talk about other solo albums too.